Hello. For the past week or so, I've been waking up each morning and doing this exercise called Morning Pages, which was introduced by Julia Cameron in the book The Artist's Way. Basically, each morning you wake up and just write 3 pages, whatever's on your mind, just letting it rip. And I guess in theory, it's supposed to get all that sort of gunk, that muddiness, to make space for your creative flow to come through. And that's sort of what I'm getting at. Personally, I just genuinely have a harder time with letting my inner voice just flow unobstructed, whether it's with writing or most of all with video, with the spoken word. And I realized that the only way to really improve at something is to get as many reps in as possible, right? I mean, it's great that I write a weekly newsletter. It's great that I post a video a week for the most part, but that only gets you so far, right? I mean, I've definitely improved over the past, I don't know, few months of having a newsletter, the past year of being on YouTube, but there is still so much room to grow, and not really grow in the sense of, building an audience or conventional success or whatever, but grow individually as a person and in a way that really matters to me, which is being able to just let my inner voice shine through, to be able to not let this imaginary spotlight shine down on me and have my perfectionism overwhelm me. For me to have to redo a shot or a take, I mean, to be completely honest with you, I probably hit start and cut at least 5 times already before I got to this take, because I kept fumbling. I kept trying to do some intro about how I'm on my roof and it's been a while since I've been up here. You get the gist. And I find myself cutting myself off, which is, I guess, just a sign of me not allowing myself to be imperfect, right? Because in a real life conversation, if I was speaking to myself, I wouldn't cut myself off just because he lost his trail of thought or he paused or stumbled on his words a bit. Yet, so often in life, we don't treat ourselves as we would with our own best friend. And it's something I preach a lot, but it's still something that I struggle with and I'm continuing to work on. And this challenge is my way of doing that, my way of improving my relationship with myself, really, to allow myself to be imperfect, to be messy, to let my thoughts and inner voice just flow through in a way that really resonates with me. And if it resonates with me, it'll resonate with you. So, for the next 100 days, I know that's super bold of me to say, but for the next 100 days, on top of doing my morning pages, I'm also going to be recording these videos, these one takes, no cuts or whatever, where I basically just talk about a topic, a question, a quote, a message, what have you. And honestly, I feel this would be a great way to get you involved. If you have any sort of topics or questions you'd like me to address or talk about, then by all means, please let me know. I would love to be able to have this feel like as much of a conversation as possible, because my gosh, I have a hard time just talking to the camera and not having any sort of tangible feedback or ways to bounce off of. So any sort of prompt would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But hopefully, over the course of the next 100 days of doing these, I'll hopefully be more comfortable with just flicking on the camera and just letting it rip, letting my inner voice flow through just as if I was having a conversation with you. And at the same time, I encourage you to do the same. It doesn't have to be recording a daily video, it doesn't have to be doing morning pages or whatever, but just something. Something that you've been wanting to try out, to do for the longest time, but you've sort of put off until an if or when, right? Like when the ideal conditions arise or when I get this off my plate, then I'll start trying this out. I mean, I myself personally, I've put off recording this video for at least a handful of days already, citing like low energy, like bad lighting, whatever, all excuses, because the only person that is going to hit record and upload is me. So whatever it is, right, I encourage you to just start and commit, because you can absolutely change your life in 100 days. It doesn't have to be anything super, you know, grandiose. It doesn't have to be for a super long amount of time each day, right? It's just important that you start and you stick with it, that you show up for yourself day in and day out as you would for a best friend. I mean, 15 minutes a day, right? 15 minutes of whatever, whether it's journaling, meditation, going for a walk, or drawing in a sketch pad, or just singing into the mirror, whatever it may be. 15 minutes, 100 times, that's 1,500 minutes. That's like over 20 hours. You can make some serious strides in doing something for 20 hours straight. And I'm hoping that's what's going to happen with doing these one takes, with doing my morning pages, that I put in these reps of letting that inner voice just flow unobstructed, being able to really, I guess, master this spontaneity of conversation without having someone to bounce off of. And I hope you will do the same, right? You don't necessarily have to do it publicly like I am. I'm only doing so out of, I guess, accountability purposes, and also to encourage you, whoever you are, wherever you are out there in the world, to be able to see the journey, see the progress when you commit to yourself. And by all means, I would love to be your accountability partner. If you don't feel as comfortable sharing this with other people, shoot me an email, send me a private YouTube video, whatever it may be. You don't have to go on this journey alone. Let's do it together and see how we grow and how our lives change in 100 days. So that's day one. We'll see what I talk about tomorrow and the next day, the day after that. And gosh, after 100 days of this, we will seriously have a lot of ground covered and made some serious strides, and most of all, learned a lot about myself. So I'm super excited. I'm sure there'll be days where I experience dips in motivation, where I really don't feel like slugging myself to hit record, but I'm gonna do it anyways, because I'm gonna show up for myself, and I hope you do too. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow.